When we make mash, we're basically just making grits because this is grits corn, as it has a much sweeter, almost creamy aroma going on. And you don't have a heavy corn or what I call dog food plant smell that comes with certain mashes.
We smell like Cracker Barrel out here. It's quite
It's not a dog food, it's a Cracker Barrel smell. That's all there is to it. On the western side of Kentucky, surrounded by farm fields, is a distillery called MB Roland. This is a husband and wife team that has been knocking out some pre-prohibition whiskey since 2009. Veteran-owned, Kentucky hospitality, and a passion for making some really, really good whiskey. Welcome to this episode of the Great American Whiskey Cookers. I am here in Pembroke, Kentucky at MB Roland Distillery. And we're talking all sorts of fun stuff. We're in the rack house. It's raining outside. I don't know if you can hear that. And you can kind of see our shirts blowing in the wind. But I'm talking with Paul and Mary Beth Tomaszewski. Did I get it right?
Yep. Yes, you did.
Yes. I got the last name right. Okay, so let's talk distilling. Did you come to distilling naturally? I mean, is it in your lineage? Is it in your history? Family?
I like to think so, philosophically.
Okay. Let's go down that path. I want to hear it.
My dad's family is from Chicago, half Polish, half German.
Okay, that explains it.
Yeah, the Polish side, all butchers, meat processing oriented, but the German side were all bakers. So, that kind of in my blood a little bit. And when I was a kid, in fact, that was kind of like my project in the kitchen that I learned to bake. And when I started, looking into whiskey, I'm like, this is like baking. This is, you need to be exact. You need to follow your process. And so it did kind of come naturally to me just from a mindset standpoint.
Sure.
I just looked at it that way.
And so how long have you been making whiskey?
We're in our 17th year of business.
Legally.
I'll answer that way.
Legally, she says. She puts the qualifier on, Mary Beth.
Well, I mean, let's be for real.
Maybe a few years before that, I had some practical application experience.
Sure,
Yeah.
I think pretty much every distiller does.
Right.
That's how they get into it, right? So have you been in this location for 17 years?
Yes.
Wow, that's a long time. And this location was what previously?
Former Amish dairy farm.
An Amish dairy farm, and you've now turned it into a distillery.
A little bit different.
We're going to hell.
I was gonna say, I'm not sure how the Amish are really gonna like that.
No, they actually come by and they'll say,
Yeah.
"Oh, we must get some medicine for the cold."
That's actually true.
Okay, all right, well, there you have it. Medicine, it's still medicine.
Yeah,
There-
right.
Exactly.
Right? Even during Prohibition, it was still medicine. Let's go back to distilling. How big is your still? I saw the building that it's in, but tell me about your still. Where'd you get it, and what's it like running it?
We've got a 600-gallon process. Our mash cooker, our fermenters, and our stripping still are all 600 gallons. We also have a spirit still that's 300 gallons. And they're both pot stills. They were manufactured by a friend of ours who moonlighted as a still maker under the name Trident Stills. And I'll give a shout out to him. He now has his own distillery in Etna, Maine called Mossy Ledge Spirits. So if y'all get really frisky, you can drive up there and go visit him.
Mossy Ledge Spirits. Okay, we're gonna have to check that out.
Mossy Ledge Spirits. Okay. So maybe he'll get a few hits on.
Yeah.
Great guy. I actually just talked to him a few weeks ago. And, we started very small, very simple with a little tiny business loan and a few dollars we cobbled together, mostly ourselves and a few friends, if you will, but just very small money, especially in this business. And when we started, we had a little 100-gallon still that's now a yard ornament you can see out there in the yard. It's got a big dent because a tree fell on it. So it's part of the history. We got.
You can't bang it out either. I mean, it just looks atrocious. But
the Trident stills we have now are great. They're good pot stills. We've had them now for 12, 13 years, and we'll crank out through that process a little over 1.5 barrels of whiskey. We only run the spirit still every other time because we'll do 2 distillations on the stripping still of low wines, and then that goes in the spirit still. But the process fundamentally is really driven by the grain we use. We use local food grade white corn. And I didn't realize it at the time when we were looking at options for grain local to the area, how unique that was to have access to something like that.
Really? Explain that.
So this is white corn that's used for grits, it's used for tortillas, it's used for all sorts of food products, but it's never been in industrial production, and it's not a dent grain, it's a flint grain. So it's always been used for human consumption as opposed to corn syrup or ethanol or something like that.
It's quite delicious even in its raw form.
Yeah.
So if you were to go, and it'll be growing back here, I think, later on in the summer, growing pretty well. If you were to actually take an ear raw and simply strip it down, it's very flavorful, very sweet. It's not chewy, it's not rubbery. You flash cook it in that form and it's quite delicious.
Really?
When we make mash, we're basically just making grits because this is grits corn. I haven't been to a distillery that really has the aroma that ours does. It has a much sweeter, just more almost creamy aroma going on. And you don't have a heavy corn or what I call dog food plant smell that comes with certain mashes.
We smell like Cracker Barrel out here.
We're
Quite
It's not a dog food, it's a Cracker Barrel
That's
smell.
right.
That's all there is to it.
That's right.
I tell you what, had I known that before we even got here, I was excited to come here to begin with. I'd have been all in at that point. You need to market that. It's a Cracker Barrel smell.
Yeah.
Cracker Barrel would probably want some ownership.
Yeah, it probably
You
would.
have to bleep that part out.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's awesome.
But it's that's it, and all the other grains we use are Kentucky grown specifically for distilling. So the wheat, the rye, the malted barley, all of that.
And they're all local.
Correct.
Now you're not farming them, but you're locally sourcing them within what, 50 miles, 20 miles?
For the corn and the wheat, it's all within 20 miles.
Okay.
Mostly within about 5 or 10 miles, and we're buying direct from the farmers. For the rye and the barley, a lot of that is done in Logan County. That's 2 counties east of here. And so, it might be about 70 miles from here.
Okay.
But that farm, Walnut Grove Farms, they specifically cultivated these grains and brought them back to Kentucky for the purpose of selling to distillers.
Oh, nice.
And there is a little bit of a flavor difference when you're, again, using stuff that's grown specifically for that purpose.
Yeah.
But as far as the mashing process, of course, fermentation's 3.5 days. And once we get in that pot still, the 600-gallon still is really where that pot distillation flavor comes from. You can have a pot after a column and you can call it pot distilled, but we feel like the flavor that you get from truly pot distilled whiskey is on the stripping still, because you're putting all of that mash into that closed system. It's churning, it's cooking really low and slow, and you develop some extra viscosity and some flavor notes that you really don't get with column distillation.
Sweet mash or sour mash?
Sweet mash.
Sweet mash in all your products?
Yes.
And then how many days are you running your still? Is it 5 days a week, 7 days a week? Is it 12 hours, 18 hours a day? Is it 24/7?
4 days a week, and we'll run once, so that's about a 8-hour day.
Okay. And then so how many barrels are you putting up? However you're tracking it, is it barrels per week, barrels per month, barrels per day?
We put away about 300 barrels a year.
Okay.
And I jokingly say that's Jim Beam before their first coffee break.
It kind of is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Yeah. And in our case, 300 barrels, we started so small that's a bit for us, and we're happy and content with that. We'll continue to grow it as we can and see fit to, but our full capacity is about 1,000 barrels a year.
Okay. But if you're doing 1,000 barrels, you're currently doing 300 barrels a year. Mm-hmm. Your full capacity is 1,000 barrels, and you're working pretty hard at 300. You're kind of kicking it. 1,000 barrels a year, you guys would be,
Well, we'd have second shifts. Right now, we don't have to have that.
have the one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if necessary, absolutely, we could do a second shift. But until that demand is there, there's no sense in flooding the market even further.
And so let's talk about demand real quick, since we're talking about distillation and kind of making the product. Where are you at? What states are you distributed in, and where do people find you?
We're really only in a few states.
I was gonna say, because
Yeah.
I've never seen you in Iowa.
Right. No, you're not going to see us in Iowa.
Definitely.
Yeah. Sorry, control state.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those control states make it very difficult for distillers to get their
Yeah.
juice out there.
But we're kind of regional in our distribution. Obviously, Kentucky, Not all of Tennessee, because it's broken up into sections, franchise state as the term goes.
Okay.
A little bit in Illinois, a little bit in Missouri, particularly St. Louis area. There's a few bottles out there in Texas, but it's a handful of stores. A lot of our distributors as a small distillery are smaller distributors, much like us. And the idea is we're going to grow together over time and, both benefit from that mutual growth.
Right.
And that's what we've seen with our best distribution partners as far as success. And it's a process, because sometimes a distributor gets bought out or they change their business model or whatever. So it doesn't work every single time. And we're in a lot of states in a small way, about half a dozen or so.
Yeah.
And then we're in about 3 or 4 states in a little healthier distribution, just because we've grown over the years with that distributor.
You've got Maryland doing a pretty good
Yeah,
job. They're
Maryland,
expanding
DC.
pretty well. But we're in Arizona, Nevada, California. We are there, but we're not in every liquor store to where it's like, oh, I'm just going to go find that. It may be a little bit of a hunt.
Yeah.
So
See, might have, but they can get you online.
Yes.
they can.
If the state allows shipping in, right? They can get you at mbroland.com, right?
Yep.
And that's your website.
Yep.
If they want to get a tour, if they want to come here and experience the Kentucky weather and in Kentucky area, right? They can do that and see the
Absolutely.
beautiful mural on the Rick House.
Absolutely.
So mbroland.com, that's the best way to get a hold of you guys and to find you.
Yeah. Yeah.
All the socials, right? So, anything else about that?
About the socials?
Or anything else I'm missing on how to get a hold of you?
No, I'm pretty sure. You can even use an old-fashioned phone.
Okay.
270-640-7744.
You actually have an old-fashioned phone
Oh, we do.
and it works?
Crazy. It's crazy.
I might have to call it just for shits and grins. It's just
A real landline.
that's amazing.
I know.
You can find us at thegreatamericanwhiskeycookers.com. Like us on the socials, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Go to Patreon, become a member. Huge shout out and thank you to our Patreon members. Thank you very much. We couldn't do some of this without your support. Until next time, if you can't be good at it. See ya.